Now, Liberal Senator Sarah Henderson weighed into this argument before the election, came up with an alternative idea of her own. She's now pushing for Labor to embrace the idea that she had, which was to to index student debt, not just have a one-off sugar hit. She joins me now from Canberra. Senator Henderson, great to see you again. What's your idea?
Well, Steve, great to join you. And after 3 or so years of 3 million Australians suffering huge increases in student debt, this is all about capping indexation. So lowering student debt, meaning that Australians will pay the lower amount of either CPI or 3%. So we've seen this wild ride, Steve, of students paying incredibly high numbers, the debt going through the roof under Labor because of their high inflation. And frankly, Australians should not have to pay the price, anyone with a student debt, for Labor's mismanagement of inflation and of the economy. So this is about capping indexation. At the moment, indexation is uncapped. Sure, there was a change in the indexation formula, but it's still uncapped, exposing some 3 million people with a student debt to further risk of indexation ballooning. So I'm really hoping that both my coalition colleagues, I'm fighting very hard for common sense, Steve, to lower student debt. I'm hoping my coalition colleagues and also the Parliament will embrace this amendment to Labor's student debt discount bill.
Well, we love common sense here. You know that, Sarah. Do you have the support of your colleagues?
Look, I certainly have had some very positive discussions, including with the new Shadow Minister, John O'Doniam. This is still to go through our ordinary party room processes, which will happen tomorrow. So I'm hoping and trusting that this will get through as an amendment, because what this means is that young Australians will have the certainty into the future. This student discount only applies to students currently at university. So anyone starting semester 2 this year or going forward will get absolutely nothing out of this discount. There'll be absolutely no discount. So this provides certainty into the future, and it's fair for anyone taking on a HECS debt.
Well, as the father of 2 daughters who have crippling HECS debts, I mean, you'd agree with me, I would suggest that it was a pretty clever policy by Labor to attract younger voters at that election and probably contributed to that thumping victory. Well,
the reason they implemented that policy, Steve, was because student debt skyrocketed under Labor because of their mismanagement of inflation and the economy. So when inflation goes through the roof, so does student debt. And so what we're saying is we will back ourselves as strong economic managers, keeping, of course, inflation within the RBA band of 2 to 3%. And so Labor really, with students suffering 14.3% increase in student debt, I think they were just scrambling for something to do, because with young people suffering from paying the rent or trying to pay for enough food on the table, so many Australians and young Australians were suffering. And yes, it did resonate, but what I'm putting forward is a permanent cap on indexation, which will give all students certainty right now and into the future.
Well, I think it's an outstanding idea, and I hope that the coalition actually adopt it, because it makes absolute, as we said, common sense to me. Senator Henderson, thank you very much for your time tonight.